South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total is really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Welcome in. Good morning. It's Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio, as always, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino right here in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. And Alex, we got a full Tuesday card of Major League Baseball today.
Yes, we do. And we are more than halfway through July. A lot going on, right? Of course, we've got baseball continuing on, and then football's getting closer and closer. I know we have Big Ten Media Day here in Las Vegas, so you'll be hearing a lot more about NFL and college very soon from us.
Yeah, we hope to have Bud Elliott later this week with us. He's in town for that. So hopefully we'll have Bud on Friday. We'll have to talk to our fearless leader upstairs, Chris Andrews, about that. But we'll be on the lookout. Again, more college. NFL, by the way, Alex and I have been already recording NFL team previews. The first one goes live today, this afternoon. Be on the lookout. We're going from lowest win totals all the way to Philadelphia at the end. So be on the lookout. We begin with the Tennessee Titans. We apologize. We did record it before Will Levis was ruled out for the season, even though that changed nothing to our handicap because it's Cam Ward's squad, of course, in Nashville. So be on the lookout. One a day over the next 32 days. Well, 32 weekdays, I should say, to get you ready for the National Football League season. All right, Alex, let's dive in. By the way, the trivia question is already live on the bottom of the screen. Don't worry, it's not a video daily double today, so just a regular question for the show later today. All right, let's get to it, Alex. Let's begin in Miami. And we were right with the Padres being priced weirdly yesterday. They get it done. They win 2-1. Not a lot of offense, but more than good enough from Vasquez in the start against Miami. And today, it's not quite same pricing, but Miami is favored again. It's Edward Cabrera against Kolek, who we look at Kolek and Vasquez as these fringe starters for San Diego that happen to be in a rotation because of injuries across the board. Really, again, Musgrove lost for the year, as we know. Darvish didn't come back until 3 weeks ago. But Alex, again, I'm a little bit perplexed by the way this is priced again, where this pitching matchup to me is a little more even than yesterday. It was a bigger advantage to Miami yesterday. You could at least justify, all right, if Miami was this price yesterday, okay, I don't have a problem with that. Today, All right, Cabrera's been better, sure, but minus 140 first 5, minus 120 for the game of Miami. That feels a little bit steep, even with the Marlins playing better ball of late. By the way, Padres have a 3.5 game lead on the Giants, Cardinals, and Reds for that final wild card. This is the largest lead that the 6th seed in the NL has had at any point this year over the 7th seed in the National League playoff race. So a little bit of distance here for San Diego over those next 3 teams at the current moment.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Not a whole lot of offense, but they can win one-run games here when the Giants have just not been playing well and are on a nice losing streak for them. So, yeah, Jeff, I'm with you. I definitely think that this is priced wrong once again. Now, I do not trust Kolek as much as Vasquez, but I do think what you said is correct, too. I think this is a pretty even pitching matchup here between these two. Not a lot of offense from either side. I mean, want to try and make a case for maybe an under here, full game, but really nothing that I love in this one between these two. Your Red Rock Cabrera has been really good. Coming off one of his worst starts against the Orioles in Baltimore, just went 4 innings and 4 earned runs on 8 hits in that one. I do think he is being looked at right now as a potential trade option for Miami. So going to want to continue pitching well, and also maybe they kind of keep him short on a short leash. Don't want him going too far. Want to get all the value they can from him. On the other side with Kolek, I think you said it perfectly. I think he is still kind of a AAA pitcher that got brought up a little bit too soon. In his last start against the Rangers, gave up 6 earned runs in 5 1/3. So that just keeps me off of all sides there. I don't really see either one of them being too much better than the other, and I am nervous about that under there. So pass for me between these two today.
So just going through, again, with San Diego here, nearing the deadline, their offense has now been below average for the better portion of 6 weeks to 2 months even, but here they are. Their bullpen has been absolutely spotless when it's not the All-Star game. Yes. And it's the reason that they're in good position. And you look at those standings in the National League playoff picture. We'll get to Milwaukee and Chicago a little bit later because the Brewers just continue to play out of their minds and currently have the best record in baseball entering today's action. But they're at 3.5. That's a gap to not be sneezed at this point. That is a reasonable size gap. Now, look, of course, you can make up 3.5 games in a week with one bad week from San Diego and a good week for any of those teams behind it. But Cardinals are 1-3 out of the All-Star break. Reds got beat yesterday in Washington, and the Giants have been non-competitive in 4 games so far. So I don't want to say danger time for those teams that are trying to chase San Diego, but if the Padres keep winning and if the Mets ever get on a hot streak again, especially with how well those 2 NL Central teams are playing and the fact that they have created now a 8.5 game gap between Chicago and that collection 3.5 behind San Diego, it's really difficult to see a run unless if San Diego collapses or one of those 3 teams gets hot. Again, still a lot of ball to be played, about 60 games for everyone here. Padres small dog here today, though.
It is very interesting, and I made a case for the Giants with their pitchers last week of who I thought would make a push here, but I don't know. I really don't like how they are playing, especially offensively. And then it's funny because Danny Burke said, watch out for those Diamondbacks. And we've been talking about them wanting to sell. And now they have still been competitive. They did lose yesterday to Houston, but still very competitive and one of the best offenses still in the league. So it's going to be very interesting, at least for the next month or so.
Moving along, Alex, let's go to the next game. We go to Washington. Big offensive outburst for the Nationals last night, even though they had to hold on for dear life in that game to put away Cincinnati a night ago in the nation's capital, 10-8. Nats will throw Brad Lord here today, and, of course, Chase Burns, who, again, has been erratic in his first few starts in the major leagues, is a minus 140 favorite here tonight, a total of 9 in the nation's capital, Alex. Weather in D.C. tonight. There's a nice 83 degrees with not a lot of winds. So we saw a big high-scoring game last night with similar conditions. Total of 9. Juice to the under, though, here in this one.
Really betting the Nationals here at plus 125. Can they win 2 in a row? It feels like it's just like the Reds, right? To take 2 out of 3 against the Mets and then lose that first game against Washington. Can the Nats do 2 in a row? So trying to find reasons why I wouldn't bet it. So looking at Brad Lord, had 6 starts in the rotation from April to May, 1-4 record there. Now he's been coming out of the bullpen, has been much better since then. 2.70 ERA and a 109 whip for him in 36 and 2/3 innings pitched. Does that give him more confidence here now to make a start against Cincinnati? I would make the case, yeah, it probably will. But then looking at Burns on the other side, is it just one outlier bad start in there for him? I mean, really, his first start went 5, gave up 3 against the Yankees, then against Boston, just got destroyed. 5 earned runs for him in that one, didn't even make it through a full inning. Philly, 4 and 2/3 innings, 1 earned run. That's pretty good, but then they got him out of there with a couple base runners. And then 6 against Colorado, just 2 earned runs in his 6 innings pitched there against the Rockies. So is that Boston an outlier? Not quite sure yet what we have with Chris Burns at this point. Everyone's kind of just expecting him to jump right in like Mizorowski. But all that being said, I do have a pretty strong lean here against the Nats, and they are playing well. Both of these offenses are pretty much even in the last seven days. So getting that plus price, I think that is the best value in this game.
Moving along to the next one up, and that is in Atlanta. Braves just toasted Hayden Burnsong, who couldn't throw a strike last night in the first inning. Braves go on to win comfortably, 9-5. Now, Giants are 0-4. They've played no games within the run line since the All-Star break, and Logan Roop's going to have to be the one who stops the bleeding here today. Even money. Daniel on the other side for Atlanta. Minus 115 favorite, total 9.5. Again, Atlanta-wise, rain in the forecast, but it looks like this is going to be, if it's raining, it's not going to be heavy. It'll be light that they can play through. It's also hot and wind blowing out. So even with the rain, still pretty darn good hitting conditions tonight with 2, again, not a huge sample size on the Atlanta side, and Roop. Again, a guy who has been, when he's been good, he's been quite good, but it's been more to the average to slightly below average than the high end here from Roop this year.
So to your point, Davis, Stanton just his second start for the Braves here. I do lean to the Giants side, but you have to add in the fact, like you just mentioned, that they have lost 6 in a row, 4 since the All-Star break. So adding that in, it really gives you nothing here. It lands right on Atlanta, minus 115. So I think that's a pretty fair price. I do think Roop is the better pitcher from what we have seen. Also kind of fighting to keep that spot in the rotation. Him and Birdsong are supposed to be fighting for the 5th, but because of injuries, they're both here now. So I do think that he could pitch fairly well and will be dialed in, ready to go against this Braves team. Nothing. I mean, like I said, I think the Giants should have probably been minus 130, but if you're going to add in the losing streak, you get right here where the books made it.
Going to just stay off again. Giants non-competitive these first 4 games. Got to get again. Starting to get away. 3.5 games behind San Diego. Don't want to fall too far back. And again, the Rafael Devers trade has not produced the fruit that we expected it to produce for San Francisco so far. It's produced fruit for Boston. We'll get to them a little bit later. All right, let's go to Colorado. Cardinals got a much-needed win yesterday. McGreevy pitched great in Denver last night in the Cardinals' victory over the lowly Rockies, who are now 24-76 after 100 games. Very impressive stuff from the Rocks, as we've talked about all year. Eric Fetty on the bump tonight against Blaylock for the Rockies. Weather tonight in Colorado, it is a real chance at a rain out here tonight, actually, in Denver. The wind is blowing out. It's about 80 degrees. But there's more than a 60% chance of rain, so there is a potential of an actual PPD here tonight and a doubleheader tomorrow in Denver for these two.
And if not, I mean, can't really defend Derek Fetty anymore right now with what we have seen from him in his last few starts. I do think that the Rockies should be able to get to him. Blaylock on the other side, kind of getting a spot because of Chase Dollander being injured, so that makes me feel like he's not really ready for this moment either. I think the number's right there at 12, but it leans me to the over. Also, I mean, I do think Eric Fetty has obviously way more experience and could pitch better, so it's a Cardinals lean. But do I really want to lay minus 150? And again, we don't even know if the game's going to be played.
So Blaylock has 4 starts this year. His last start against Cincinnati actually pitched really well, 5 1/3, scattered 6 hits, didn't walk anyone, only gave up a run. The previous start, which was all the way back on May 10th, is why all those numbers look insanely bad. Got just totally blown up by San Diego. Went 3 2/3 and was the sacrificial lamb that day. Gave up 12 earned runs in that less than 4 inning start. So, again, 2 really bad starts have blown up his numbers, but again, still not overly impressive, even without those 2 really bad starts. All right, let's go to Cleveland next. Guardians actually put up another big offensive performance last night. They put up a 10 spot in a victory over Baltimore, coming from behind yesterday. Cantillo and Young, your pitching matchup tonight. Total of 8 at the Jake. -155 on Cleveland, +40 on the O's on the take back, Alex.
I mean, I think you just have to go right back to it on the over with how Cleveland, I mean, their bats have definitely woken up as of late. And then looking at Young with a 7.52 ERA and a 1.25 whip, 25 strikeouts to 11 walks across 26 and a third for him. Also have given up 7 homers. And then on the other side, now Joey Cantillo, he has his last start. He did go the longest, but still just 5 1/3. Struck out 6 in that, and he did get the win in that one, but it did allow 4 runs. So I know Baltimore, it's kind of very up and down for the Orioles, especially offensively, but they did get 5 yesterday. So if you made me play it, it'd be an over 8.
I tend to agree. Just bad. Again, Young has been awful for the most part this year, other than 1 start. And again, not a huge sample size on Cantillo on the other side. So it would only be, I'm with you, it would only be a lean to the over at 8, especially after last night where both offenses produced in a big way.
And 2 better pitchers even going. So
100%. Cleveland with a 10-run outburst last night. All right, let's go to Toronto next. Jays, boy, they just own the Yankees at the current moment as they win their 5th consecutive game against the Bombers north of the border. And look, their lead's up to 4 now. They have a real shot to make this incredibly difficult on the Yankees. Even if they get one of the next 2, would push it to 5, sweep the next 2 at 6, and might be declaring it over north of the border against the Yankees. But it's Schlitter and Scherzer. Schlitter's first start was pretty good for New York. Again, one of their bigger pitching prospects. Max, you know what? Max is what he is at this point. He's a back-end rotation guy. Hasn't pitched a lot because of the early season injury. But Scherzer at home is a small favorite in this game at -120. A lot of movement to just get back to the original number. And the total is 9 north of the border. Jays with, again, they win these next 2. Jays are 6 games up on the Yankees. And that is all, even with 2 months, that is a lot to ask the Yankees to come back, especially with how they played since the beginning of June.
I do think that this is a cheap price here on the Blue Jays at home, -120. I think they should be closer to $1.40. As you mentioned, Scherzer coming back from that injury, but he is coming off of a season-high 90 pitches, throwing 59 strikes in that. He did go 6 innings against the Athletics, 3 earned runs. I do also like 8 strikeouts to just 1 walk in that start. So starting to get into midseason form here. On the other side, not much we have with Cam Sherlittle. And like you said, pretty good against Seattle, 5 1/3, 3 earned runs in that one. But I would give definitely the Blue Jays the advantage here with the pitching. And, I mean, nice little win streak going for them at home that they are trying to keep going. So I think $1.20 is pretty cheap there.
Yankees, again, just can't get out of their own way consistently enough. So there we go. We're looking at the Jays as a -120 favorite here tonight. All right, let's move on to the next game on the board, which is the white-hot White Sox. I get to say it again. The White Sox with 4 blowout victories in a row. By the way, oh, man. The White Sox and the Pirates. Ryan, who's Jay Cuda was the guy you always did on the former show, right?
Yeah.
So Jay Cuda tweeted this out this morning. There are only 2 teams in baseball that have won 4 consecutive games by 5 or more runs this year. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago White Sox.
Of course.
What a list. 2 of the 3 worst teams in baseball. Rays, who got smoked yesterday, are -220. They do have Drew Rasmussen today. +190 on Martin, who is, the win-loss record's not pretty, but he hasn't pitched too poorly out of the starting rotation. Total 8.5. Rays are big favorites. Same price as yesterday. They're -220. Yesterday got beat down to -220 here again.
I will just say my only concern with Martin is he is better at home than he is on the road. So he did give up 4 against Houston in 6 innings, and he gave up 4 against Baltimore. But still, I mean, that's not crazy, and he is going 6. He even went 7 1/3 against Seattle. So I do think he could keep this Rays offense tamed and keep them in this game. But Drew Rasmussen, I think he is actually going to go pretty long today, because we talked about it in his last start, how they were kind of holding back, and Joe Boyle would jump in after. But I think they're going to see how far he can go. Huge advantage for them. I'm not going to lay -220, but I think that is the right side. I think the Rays get this one.
Yeah, it would probably be. So but we haven't talked a lot of first 5 run lines since we came back from the break, Alex, but this is one that's just too high. It's -140, laying a half a run on Tampa. Just can't justify that pricing. Again, I never really want to go higher than a quarter.
Yeah.
Laying a quarter first 5 run line. Definitely don't want to go all the way up to -140. All right, let's go to Texas next. Jacob deGrom on the bump for the Rangers, who beat the A's last night. JT Ginn against deGrom, 2 guys who, of course, formerly of the Meta organization. deGrom -220, Ginn +90, total 7.5. Alex, I do have my concerns with Ginn, but I'm kind of surprised this didn't come as a 3.5 first 5. Don't expect the A's to score more than a run against deGrom. You take your shot here. I wouldn't have an issue with taking under 4 first 5. And you know what? If Ginn gets blown up, so be it.
I don't know, Jeff. I'm kind
yesterday,
of scarred over yesterday. 1-1 going into the bottom of the 5th, and then I lose under 5. So I am a little bit nervous that Texas offense is just really heating up right now. I thought Ginn, I didn't realize once he came back from his injury, he has been coming out of the bullpen as of late for the Athletics. So that does give me some more hope that I do think he can pitch well here in this one. But I really found nothing. I think the Rangers is the right side. Again, we've got another -220. So if anything, maybe looking at the run line first 5, you see that one. It's probably about the same price, right?
Yeah.
Too high.
Yeah, it's too high. It's slightly cheaper, but it's still. Oh, actually, I was on the wrong line. It is actually more expensive than that previous game. It's -150, laying a half a run first half. Forget it.
We've talked about deGrom, though. He is just pitching so well right now.
Now that he's healthy again, when Jacob deGrom's been healthy, Jacob deGrom has been a top 5 pitcher in baseball his entire career, and he's healthy again. He's doing it in a little bit of a different style. He's not throwing 101, 102 anymore, but he's still unbelievably effective. And if it wasn't for Tariq Skubal right now, we'd be talking about deGrom. Again, Skubal is going to run away and hide with that American League Cy Young, assuming he makes it to the end of the season in one piece, which you would hope he does for everybody's sake. All right, let's go to Pittsburgh next. Casey, go ahead, Alex.
Maybe we don't have the market, I don't believe, but maybe deGrom to record the win could be a way you could play it for a cheaper price.
I wonder what that price would be. Let's see real quick. To record a win today, deGrom is +115. So that is a very good price in comparison to what it is. But he'll go 5 or 6. Just a matter of, as always, it'll be Texas scoring for him, as we know, has been a little bit of an issue and has been an issue for his whole career, regardless of what team he's been on. All right, let's go to Pittsburgh next. Pirates beat up on the Tigers yesterday. Tigers, again, in a really bad stretch right now. 1-6 in their last 7. And it's been everything has gone wrong other than the Skubal start on Sunday night. Their offense has struggled. Their pitching has struggled other than the Skubal start. It is just not the same Tiger team. Now, granted, they're in completely good shape in winning the Central. They're still 10 games up. No one's going to catch them in the Central. But they've at least made it a little more interesting of even holding on to a first-round bye.
Right.
They are tied with Toronto in the loss column, and they only have a 1.5-game lead on Houston. So things have very much tightened for the number 1 seed in the American League. It's Mize against Keller. I've been saying Detroit has been undervalued in these last few games, and the books have been right on this. Now I think it's the other way. I think Detroit's a little bit of too big of a favorite here today. Keller's pitched significantly better over the last month. I think this game should be closer to pick than it is. It would only be a lean to the Pirates, but again, tread carefully as you always do when betting Pittsburgh, even though they, again, finally won last night. But remember, just 48 hours ago, they were getting swept by the White Sox. So tread carefully here on the Pirates at plus 110.
They alternate which pitcher they give run support to, too. So Skeens got it yesterday. Who knows if Mitch Keller will today? But I agree with you. I think it should be minus 120 Pirates at home here with Mitch Keller. Why not play the under? I mean, Mize has been decent enough, and looking at his median numbers, just 1 to 2 earned runs in 5 2/3. So I definitely like that way, especially with right now. I think the Tigers will be okay, but they are definitely struggling. And I think they have either the worst or the second to worst, depending if you're going batting average or WRC plus in the last 7 days. And that is with Pittsburgh right there. So batting a 202 as a team and 67 WRC plus. I think under is the way to go. I might just go full game on this one, though. Can I trust the Pirates?
I'd rather go full game, honestly, with the way Detroit is playing right now. And you look at the first 5 price. I mean, yeah, I guess you could justify a plus 105 on Keller first 5. I guess you play both. Go 3/4 on one and a quarter on another if you wanted to go that unit wise. All right, let's go to Philadelphia next. Phillies are a huge favorite again after needing a walk-off catcher's interference call, naturally, to win an extra innings last night against the Red Sox. They were a bigger favorite yesterday, but they did get home. A little bit of a struggle, but they got home. Sanchez against Fitz. Christopher is a minus 185 favorite at home. Fitz at plus 165 on a take back on Boston. Total 8.5. Alex, I actually think, again, I said this yesterday, but I couldn't do it because you were going against Wheeler, and you don't really, like, even though it was a juicy price on Buehler and the Sox, just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Richard Fitz is not a major league pitcher. That's the pure hesitation here. But I'm going to look at doing something you did last week for the first few times. I'll take the 1.5 with the Bo Sox at minus 120. Take a plus 1.5. This feels like another one-run contest. Take a small bite of the apple, plus 165 short. But there's always a concern. Again, this is a big pitching mismatch. But again, the Phillies, even though they're 500 out of the break, it has not been an impressive showing through 4 games for that Philly offense, other than Kyle Schwarber, realistically speaking.
No, I think that's a pretty good bet here, especially if you're looking at their offensive numbers. I mean, both of these two are definitely down. So I think it'll be a competitive game. I think the Red Sox actually are up there with the most one-run games. So they can definitely keep it competitive here. You are right about Fitz, though. That's kind of how you gauge it, right? Because he's being called up since Hunter Dobbins went down. So that's how you know when they're not really ready to be in that spot, or a big league pitcher. So I definitely think there's an advantage. And I've been talking about the Phillies rotation all year long. I think Christopher Sanchez is very good. His numbers show it. So it's a lean to that side, but I really have nothing here. Maybe even lean to the under with how these offenses have been going. But again, just a lean.
Up next, Alex, we continue in interleague. We go to New York. Angels and Mets. Mets come from behind, win 7-5 yesterday against L.A., and now today it's rocket fuel day on the mound. Kyle Hendricks and Frankie Montas. Now, it's interesting with Montas. You watch Montas pitch, and you genuinely don't understand how he can get major league hitters out when you watch the games. But other than the ERA, his other numbers have ended up being passable through his first few starts. Hendricks, we've talked about. He's on the backside of his career. He's been a little better recently, but the beginning of the year was ugly. I think this is a big-time over game here tonight. The numbers even tell you it. It's a 9. You don't see 9s at Citi Field very often. And both offenses, yesterday at least, finally showed up. Angels offenses, they've looked good since the All-Star break. Mets have been inconsistent all year long, but finally busted through yesterday with some clutch hits when they needed to. But this is, Alex, this is a principal bet for me. I just don't like either of these pitchers. Both of these guys are on the wrong sides of their career. I like over 9, even with that minus 120 juice. Would love to see a 9 minus 15 by game time, but I would still look to the over here at 9.
I'm with you. That is the only way that I would play it. My dad takes off a half a run with pitchers that are, elite over a certain number for him. I almost want to get to the point where you can add because when they are that far behind, and Hendricks is definitely the lowest pitcher. Well, that's not true. Some of these young guys that are stepping up today are right there too. But He's definitely the lowest number for a veteran coming in here today. And Montez, even though he's coming off of the best start of the year, where only gave up 1 earned run, he gave up 10 in 9 2/3 before that. So I do think that's the way to play it, going over 9.
Still, both of these guys, they're not major league guys anymore. And again, they're both old. They're both in their late 30s. So back end career for both of these guys. Speaking of back ends of careers, let's go to Chicago here. Matt Boyd is a huge favorite, but that's not the story in this game. The All-Star Boyd has been great, as we've talked about. He's minus 240 today against the Royals. The total's 9. Rich Hill, Mr. Mountain, is going to tie Edwin Jackson's record here tonight for most teams played for in Major League history of 14. Rich Hill will also be the first pitcher to appear in a game at the age of 45 or older since 2018, when Bartolo Colon, of course, did it on multiple occasions that year for both the Braves and the Texas Rangers. I can't believe Rich Hill is still pitching, even though it's his first appearance of the year. Alex, if the wind was blowing out tonight, I feel like this would be a definite bet the Cubs team total over. They should smash around a guy who's a soft tosser and also making his first appearance of the year. But the wind is blowing in. So you very rarely see a wind in 9 at Wrigley, which kind of tells you how little these books are valuing Rich Hill at this point of his career.
Well, I mean, if you look at what he has done in the minors since getting that contract there with Kansas City and starting in AAA, he's given up a lot of hits. In his last 3, I mean, we've got... So his last one was actually really good, but two innings pitched. 5, the one before that, 4 hits, 10 hits against Toledo before that. And it is a PCL, right? So it is going to be a little bit tougher. But still, I definitely think this Cubs offense can get to him. There's not much you can do value-wise because, I mean, minus 240, we don't really want to lay the run line with the home team. I mean, it might be okay in this spot. But, yeah, I guess Cubs team total would be the only way.
You know, it's going to be interesting. Again, Hill is 1 team away after he debuts tonight for Kansas City. He would have the record to himself if he somehow ends up on another roster, either this year or next year. And that would also mean he's getting to 46 in the major leagues. Jamie Moyer territory, to say the very least, for Rich Hill, who, again, amazing that he's actually able to pitch in the major leagues. And he's going to go tonight as a big underdog for Kansas City. All right, let's go to Arizona next. Framber Valdez makes his first appearance of the second half for the Stros against Eduardo Rodriguez. So a solid left-handed matchup at Chase Field tonight. Stros handed the D-backs their first loss of the second half last night, 6-3. That's a good price on Framber, isn't it? Minus 120. You can even get minus 115 in the market with a total 8.5. Alex, this is a really good price on one of the better pitchers in the American League.
I don't really get what I'm missing here. I know Eduardo Rodriguez has been pretty good for the Diamondbacks, especially having to step up when, you know, some of those other guys like Zach Gallen are struggling. But, I mean, July has been a terrible start for him. I think that it's a huge advantage here for Framber Valdez. Nice to know he is pitching, because if anyone followed me last Friday, that is one pitching change I was unaware of. But I'll definitely be backing the Astros today, minus 120. Might even take a shot at getting plus 135 for them to win by 2 or more.
Yeah, again, you're getting a road team, like you said, Alex. Like, that's always better to lay the run line. You know you're getting a 9 at bats with the road team, even though it's always...
And I watched a lot of that game yesterday, and, I mean, the Diamondbacks were competitive, but the Stros were the better team, so I'll take a shot here.
Up next, let's go to the Brewers and the Mariners, Mizorowski and Logan Gilbert. What a pitching matchup. Woodruff, by the way, was brilliant again for the Brewers in another win for Milwaukee.
Yes,
Here you go, guys. The Milwaukee Brewers, as we enter action on July 22nd, have the best record in baseball, as we all expected, and now actually have a 1-game lead on the Cubs. It's the first time all year the Cubs have not either been tied or in first place by themselves. This was 7 games 3 weeks ago, and the Brewers again have now lost in 3 weeks, 11 straight wins for Milwaukee. Mizorowski, of course, big favorite to win NL Rookie of the Year. It's really a 2-horse race. It's him and Drake Baldwin, who had a big night last night for Atlanta. Those are really the only 2 realistic competitors at this point for that market. Alex, I'm going to stare you off completely here. Everything feels right. I feel like it should be Seattle as a small favorite with Gilbert, even against the phenom Mizorowski. The total should be 7. The first 5 should be 3.5. Everything feels good here. We'll just steer clear of, again, a big matchup. Mariners 5 behind the Astros and in command of that second wild card in the AL at the moment.
I'll definitely be on the under one way or another. I think I'm going to play first 5. Are we getting that extra half a run here at the South Point?
First 5, 3.5.
3.5.
Getting 3.5 everywhere.
Okay, good. I'll take that, definitely. I think both pitchers can pitch well, and I love the fact that it is at Seattle, of course, a pitcher's park here. Question for you with the Brewers, which kind of makes it interesting. I keep looking at that market with the most regular season wins. Dodgers are still the favorite. You're getting even money, though. The Brewers make it interesting now that they're kind of climbing and in that conversation. I think, why not take a shot at an AL team? If the NL is going to stay really competitive down the stretch and looks like all the attention is on the Dodgers, Cubs, or Brewers, maybe there's an AL team that could sneak in there and get the most wins. I mean, even the Tigers now, I don't know what their price is. I think it's 4 to 1.
That was DK had those. Yeah, I mean, it would be Detroit or Houston probably. I still don't fully buy Houston's 9 to 1. I don't buy Toronto. I still don't buy them as this elite team that they've been over the last month. I think they're a playoff team, clearly, but they're not best record in baseball or world championship good. I just don't fully buy them unless they make some big moves at the deadline. By the way, real quick, Cubs all the way down to $2 in the division basically now, one game behind. And I'll just say this: if you're looking to make a bet on the NL Central or any sort of markets involving the wins or wherever it is, Brewers plus 150. These are via the Superbook. The Cubs and the Brewers play each other 8 times down the stretch. There are a lot of games left between these two teams. And even with how well Milwaukee has played, and even with the fact that they own the Dodgers during this stretch, I still don't, I don't see this. I think this is just a charmed run. And even if you look at the offensive numbers here, there are a lot of offensive numbers that go against what this streak has been, even in this 11-game win streak. Now, there's no arguing how good their pitching is, especially if Woodruff's going to be back and healthy and pitching like he did before he got hurt 2 years ago. Boy, Mizorowski and Woodruff is an awfully good 1-2, and that pushes Freddie Peralta to the 3, who is an absurdly good number 3. Their pitching is really good, and maybe for the postseason, that makes them a more difficult out when you have that formidable of a 1-2-3. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win a division or they're going to get the 1 seed in the National League. I still think the Dodgers are going to end up with the best record in baseball. I still think that. But even money, boy, that's a tough one if you're going to justify that at the current moment in the DraftKings market.
Yes.
Speaking of the Dodgers, that's the final game on the board. Let's get to it right now. Simeon's Wood Richardson, who has pitched really well for Minnesota of late, and Yamamoto making his first start of the second half. He's a minus 220 favorite. This is a big price in a game with Woods Richardson, who over his last 3 starts has been as good as anyone in the American League Central other than Tariq Skubal, Alex.
Really, and since June 15th, we're looking at a 1.47 ERA and a 0.91 WHIP over 30 and 2/3 innings pitched. So we've been keeping an eye on him. I know he had a few rough starts to start the season, but it's been very good. I like what I saw from Yamamoto in his last start, so I think he can, keep going from that. Went 7 innings, 0 earned runs, just 3 hits against the Giants here. So I'm with you. I think that 8 is too high, but I think I'd rather just go with the first 5 like I do, because looking at their median numbers, kind of expecting 3 runs here between these two. So first 5 under, last 2 games on the board for me.
Can't really fault, especially with these pitchers in these last 2 games. I mean, you have 4, especially with how well Woods Richardson has pitched, as you mentioned, since June 15th, high-end pitching over the last, that's not Wood though. You got to go further. Find your clip. Get your clipboard. Come on now.
There we go.
You got to get that there for sure. All right. We're going to take a quick break. And we get back, we're going to end a little early here today. The whiteboard, the trivia question, the answer here on a Tuesday. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total is really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back in at Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Trivia time on a Tuesday morning. On this date in 2018, WNBA Hall of Famer Sue Bird played her record-breaking 500th game in the league. How many games did Bird play in her career, and which years did Sue win her WNBA titles? All right. Here's the answer. 580 total games for Bird. All of them in Seattle, of course. The only player, Alex, to win a title in 3 different decades in WNBA history.
Wow. Did not know that.
04, 10, 18, and the pandemic 2020 season as well. But again, one of the best to ever do it in women's basketball, just retired a few years ago. And JR gets on the board for the second consecutive day with the victory. So JR is now awake at this time and now ready to go here on the day.
Very good. Does this have to do with the day, or we're just kind of mixing it up?
No, this is
keep
the
everybody
day.
on their
This
toes?
is the day. The day.
Okay.
Gameplay. Yep.
Very good.
Here on the day. All right. Let's Alex, let's get to the whiteboard here on a Tuesday, July 22nd.
Okay, so I'm going back to some unders here, even though yesterday was a little tricky, but I do like all these pitchers going. And I am going with one side. A couple of overs that we were talking about, the Mets game or the Orioles Guardians. I wish that wasn't in Cleveland, though, so that makes me a little nervous. Tigers, Pirates, I'm going full game here. Both bullpens have been really good, so we're going under 8 in that one. Brewers and Mariners, first 5 under 3.5. And then Twins and Dodgers, first 5 under 4.5. And last, Framber Valdez is pitching. We're going with the Astros, minus 120 on the road. And then I'm going to do at least half a unit here on the run line at plus 135.
Yeah,
Yes,
give
I
a
can.
little tilt for the fans at home. There we go. That's your fault, lighting, more so than anything. But there's the 4 today on Alex. All Houston Astros. You and I agree. I mean, that's a little crazy on the pricing. We thought, at least on Valdez here today. All right, we're going to wrap early today because our NFL previews, we've been recording them over the last week. The first one comes out later today, the Tennessee Titans. Make sure you're watching and being on the lookout on Sports by the Book on the YouTube page. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We have more to record today. We're going to be recording them over the next few weeks to get them to you over the next month plus before the NFL season gets going, of course, on September 4th with the Philadelphia Eagles welcoming in the Dallas Cowboys to begin the NFL season. Well, if you watched the show yesterday, Dwayne Colucci already told you the Cowboys are going to stink. I don't know if Alex and I have that same opinion.
I was going to say, so we don't have to do our
Well,
Our
no, we
preview?
that
Yeah.
can be Dwayne. Dwayne can do the preview for us, but that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow here on the show. More baseball to come as well. Looking forward to that. Big shout out to everyone who watched us here today. Alex, good luck.
Thank you.
Pick up some winners here today. A little bit better luck after that ridiculous one in Arlington yesterday. She's Alex. I'm Jeff. We'll see you again tomorrow. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.